This video is brought to you by Filmora. What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today I am super excited to bring you version 11 from Filmora video editor. You guys have seen this video editor many times in the past on this channel just because it's so awesome. They provide so many cool things in their software and it's just a brand that I really enjoy working with. So let's get started with Filmora 11. But before I'm gonna dive in, I want to quickly mention that if you want to pick up the software after the video, the link is down below. Alright, so now as you can see, this is the user interface. We have our preview, of course, as usual on the right. We have our timeline and we have our windows right here where we will see all our footage, where we will browse through the menus when it comes to adding filters, text, audio, transitions, effects, and so much more. So let's just go and have a quick run through of the software before we're gonna actually dive into the editing. So right here we have the media tab. So this is basically where you will see all the clips that you have imported into your project. That's how you have this overview. So right here we will also have the shared media where you can see all different menus and folders where you can have your footage. So right here we have, of course, the sample colors. If you need a solid color, for example, as a background, you can just drag and drop them. Really simple, as you can see right here in your timeline. Very nice. We have sample video, meaning that we have all kinds of stock clips. Of course, we have a search bar, meaning that we can search for a specific type of stock footage. It's very cool. And right here, of course, we have sample green screen, meaning that we have a few assets that we can use in our timeline and use the chroma key to remove the background, so we have a transparent overlay. This is really nice where it says new, because this preset template, the video template, provides pre-installed video engineering and fragments to enhance the efficiency of video clips. You only need to replace media clips in your template in your own media. So what that basically means is that we have pre-edited stuff right here that we can completely customize to our own. So what they actually mentioned is just replace the footage that you see right here with your own. So let's say that we're gonna drag in this sports end screen into the timeline. Of course, you can start from scratch if you want to, but if you have less time to work on a project or a simple overlay, you can just use something that's pre-edited. So if you drag that in, as you can see, the timeline is already packed and fully edited for you. You can even edit everything that you like when it comes to like the duration, the opacity of things. It's really nice that this one is just pre-edited for you. Let's say that you want to remove the background, you can just click on the delete key, and as you notice right now we have a transparent background. We can drag in our own blurry image, for example. Really cool. I'm not gonna go on too long for this because I'm so excited and there is just way too much to show you just in one video, so I'm just gonna let you guys explore that on your own. Another tab right here, the stock media. This is basically what a lot of video editors don't have. They don't really have any kind of libraries inside of the video editor. Let me first clear out the timeline just for a quick second so we can start off with a fresh project. So right here, as you see, we have all kinds of like GIFs. We have memes that are already in the project. You just have to click on this arrow to download it, and then you can just drag it into your timeline. As you can see, it appears right here, and then of course it's already moving. It's not a picture, as you can see. So let's go on to the audio. So of course we don't have any audio in our project yet, but we also have, of course, like sound effects, everything that you can imagine. So right here it says what's new. So right here we have like like all kinds of music tracks. We have sound effects for your intro. You have like happy, we have young and bright. Let's see what rock sounds like if you just drag in a song. Let's say that you want to use this one for your background music. So as you can hear, a very nice feature. Now, obviously, you don't have to like every single track that is in the software because, of course, sometimes when you're working, you already have the kind of music in mind when you look at the footage. If you have this kind of visual thinking of ways that you are looking or browsing through your clips and you already know which music and sounds you want to have under it, you can just go and drag in your own. But I just want to show you what is new because we have so many really cool and exclusive music tracks that you can also explore. So right here, obviously, like every video editor, it has a titles and text menu. We also have brand new templates for you guys to discover, but of course manually you can also make these ones yourself. Just to show you guys, I'm going to click on this arrow so we can download it real quick because obviously we also have, of course, the pre-animated like clips. We have overlays, social media lower thirds, all of these things that will save so much time if you don't have the time to animate it, or if you don't even know how to animate that in Filmora yourself. Let's say this is the first video that you see from Filmora, you don't know how to do this. So until you know how to animate it first from scratch, you can just use these pre-animated ones to really stay in this professional look. So right here, of course, we will have this really nice template. So obviously everything is fully customizable. So if you pause right here, if you just click on the screen, it's that easy. You can just click on here and then you can type in your own text. If you double click on it, it will open up the menu. So let's say that we're going to type in my YouTube name. So let's go and align it a little bit. Now, obviously, if you don't want to have any text here, you can just go and make this just completely blank. And then we can just stretch this one all across this button. Make sure that it is nice and centered. And then if you play it back, this is what it looks like. As you see, very smooth. Everything is pre-animated for you. Obviously, we have a black background because there is no footage underneath our project or underneath this clip. So that's why it appears black. But if you have footage underneath this clip, obviously it will be transparent. You don't have to apply like a black chroma key or something like this. I'm just so excited because I get so many questions like, how do you do this in Filmora, or how do you do that? And then obviously with a new version, they just have all the fixes. They have brand new stuff. Or if you guys are asking if something is missing, let's say I would really like to have this kind of stuff in Filmora, we really take that to heart, guys. We really listen to your feedback and see what you guys would like to see. And obviously we have all the clips right here. Now, of course, we also have a what's new tab right here. We have over 300 new assets for you guys to discover and use and customize. It's very nice. I can keep on scrolling. There are hundreds of awesome templates that you guys can just really personalize yourself and just make it really in the theme of your own YouTube channel. All right, guys, so we have the transitions tab as well, obviously right here. So this is where I'm going to drag in some footage really quick. All right, guys, so these are basically two stills from a clip that I shot a couple months ago. So of course, I'm going to use a transition between these two clips. So let's go back to the transitions tab right here. So now that we have all the different transitions ready, what you need to do is there's no need to make like a crossfade. You can just position it against the clips as you see right here in the timeline that they're touching. And then you just want to drag on a transition right here, just like that. And this bar basically means how long is that transition. So if you're going to make this really small, that's going to make the transition a lot shorter and faster, as you notice. So now if you go and drag this one to the opposite direction, we will have a lot longer one. So that looks really cool, guys. As you notice, it's also transparent. There's no need to, go like cut and then, mask stuff. It's really nice. So let's drag on another one. You can just really simply replace them just by dragging another one onto this transition. So let's play back this one. Let's make this one a little bit faster. This is what the transition looks like. Now, obviously we have so many more. So let's just go and preview a couple more. We have like a really nice lens flare. Now we also have like these, cartoon style ones. So if you have like a more of a casual regular channel, you can just use these ones if you don't want to, make things too fancy and too poppy. So let's go and drag on this one. This one looks very nice. Filmora wouldn't be complete, of course, without also new effects when it comes to like, of course, the visual effects side itself. So not only color grading, grading, but more on the like effects. So let's go ahead and drag on this overlay, which looks really, really nice. We have all kinds of sparkles. It's not just a boring standing still image. It looks really, really nice. We have all kinds of stars going around. So right here, we also have Boris effects, which you guys have probably heard of as well. It looks really, really nice. We have the basic ones. We have like filters, we have overlays. So let's go and just use a glitch transition for this one, or a glitch overlay rather. So that looks really, really nice. We don't have to go and like download black glitch footage from YouTube that we of course all have done ourselves, and then just go and change the compositing mode of the track to screen to make the black disappear. It looks really nice. You can just drag it on top. That's what I love about Filmora. They really, really pay a lot of attention to, you know, the user-friendly kind of things when it comes to like making sure that everything is transparent, that you don't have to waste time on, you know, making tracks transparent, and that you also don't have to mess with certain tracks like transparency, because let's say that you make a mistake and you accidentally move a clip onto a wrong track without you knowing, then that clip will also be transparent, because if you change the compositing mode of a track, that effect will be applied on every single piece of footage that's contained on that track itself. Obviously, we also have LUT filters, so if you have your video or photo not color graded yet, you can just drag on this one. Now, of course, this one is already graded, so this of course would be way too much, but if you just want to have this black and white photo, that looks really, really nice. Obviously, you can also edit like how strong is the effect, and you can achieve that by double clicking on your clip, and then you will go to the effect tab right here, and then it says this one, and then if you double click on it, you will basically have the marker right here to choose the intensity, which looks really, really nice. So if you don't want to have it too strong, you can just drag it a little bit more like this, but that is just a really, really handy feature as well. Now that we have seen all of the effects and what is new and etc., what we're going to do is we're going to talk about like all the shortcuts and how do you actually cut and edit your video. So obviously right here we also have like the element and the split screen, but that's something you guys have seen already before. There's nothing really like anything new right here, only besides the elements such as emojis. Looks very nice. They always add stickers, but when it comes to like editing itself and not necessarily using overlays, what you can do to go and cut, of course, if you have been using Filmora a long time, you already know what it is. Cutting into your clip is going to be Control B. Now, obviously, the standard keys such as copy and paste is obviously the same, such as Control C and then Control V. That's how you copy and paste. So, of course, Control B, that is how you make cuts, as you can see in your clip. If you want to right click on it, you also have your menu when it comes to like video. You can crop and zoom your video. So let's say that this shot has too much of space above me, let's say in the preview, you can just go and drag it on like this, and then we can also make sure to position it a little bit more in the center. I would also like to choose a center point. In this case, I would actually choose that equally as much of my jacket part is out of this green line, something like this. So we'll make sure that it's nice and centered, and if you right click, of course, we also have the controls next to the keys. So if you're wondering like how do I, you know, copy, or how do I cut or paste or delete, you can see that the keys are next to it. If you want to edit the properties, that's going to be Alt-E. So if you know that one time and you just keep it in mind, you can just press it on your keyboard, Alt-E. That's going to bring up all the effects that are applied onto this clip. So if you uncheck it, this is basically how you just go and like bypass kind of like the effects, and then you can also just open them, and then you can just see how you can go and mess with these markers itself to completely customize it. So this is basically how you edit with Filmora, how to cut, how to apply transitions, text, stock footage, all of that. So once you are done editing your video, a lot of people always ask like, how do I properly export? In other software, I tend to make separate videos only about how to render, but in Filmora it's just so simple. So right here, if you're finished editing, you want to click on File, and then we have all kinds of buttons. So first, always save your project before you render, because for whatever reason, if Filmora crashes during the render, you have at least saved your project just before you render. Before we're going to render, we want to make sure that you will select everything in your timeline. So if you have your entire video and all the assets right here in your timeline, you just want to go and press Control A. That's going to select everything in your project. Everything. If you're going to do this, then it could work, but sometimes you have many tracks that sometimes you might forget one. So you just want to go and press Control A, and then it will highlight everything. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on export right here at the top, and then we're going to click on export to device. I wouldn't necessarily upload it to YouTube or Vimeo straight. You can do that if you want to. I would just always prefer to have the file first and then watch it before uploading, because if you're gonna have your video finished rendering and you just always want to watch it afterwards, that there are no mistakes, instead of uploading it direct to YouTube and then having to take it down again because there was a mistake. So let's go and click on export to device, meaning that we can export it to our computer. So standardly right here you will see device highlighted, but we're going to click on local. We're going to pick the format as MP4, and now we're going to make sure to pay attention to these settings. So for everybody that is new or not really that advanced into settings, you always want to make sure that you will match the settings with your recording settings. So let's say that this photo is taken in 4K. It doesn't really make sense to render this out in 1080p because then the full quality will not be shown. So if you have a video that's recorded on your iPhone in 720p 30 FPS, you're not going to render it out in 1080p because that's not really going to improve the quality. You're just going to have a different resolution and a frame rate, but still the same quality, so there's not really a point. So if you want to change that, because 9 out of 10 you will not always record in these standard settings, you want to click on the settings tab. So the encoder, we're going to leave that how it is, H264. We're going to go to the resolution, which we have like even 4K as well. We have all kinds of format settings and resolutions. So I'm going to pick just the 1920 by 1080. The frame rate, if you have shot your video in 60 FPS, you can also just go and drag it to this one. If you have shot it in 30, you pick this one. You guys know how it works. 60 FPS, the bit rate, I would actually go and also just leave it on the standard one. The encoder for the audio, that's also very important, guys. We're going to leave it on AAC. We're going to pick also stereo because otherwise we will have it on one side only. The sample rate is going to be 44.1 Hertz, and the bit rate is going to be the highest possible. That's going to be the quality of your audio, just like the frame rate and the resolution of your video, which depends. The quality is the bit rate in audio. So we're going to set that to the highest possible, 320. Some people say you have to crank it up all the way up to 512, but at a certain extent, it's not really that hearable anymore, the difference like between 320 and 512. So once we have done that, we're going to click on OK. And now the only thing what we need to do is choose the location. And then lastly, at the bottom, you want to choose enable GPU accelerated video encoding, and then we're going to hit export. All right, guys. So of course, these are just a couple seconds, so that's why it finished in like within a second. But if you have a video that's like 5 or 10 minutes long with a lot of music, a lot of sound effects, a lot of heavy footage, color grading, LUTs, text, all of these elements and these factors also play a huge role in how big the file is going to be and how long the exporting will take. So once it's finished, you can click on open folder. That's going to bring you just to the folder where it's located at, and then you can just double click on it, open it, watch it, make sure there are no mistakes, and once that is completed, you can upload it to YouTube. So guys, this is Filmora Pro 11. Everything that I showed you guys is not even 10% of what's new. The link is down in the description, guys. Make sure to check out Filmora 11. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot to Wondershare for sponsoring this video as well. It's really appreciated, and I'll see you guys obviously in the next one.